Hello, here's another vlog. I know, since the last one went over so well, I'm going to try to make this one shorter. Now, as some of you may have noticed, I have been getting more into watching cartoons, both nostalgic and recent, and I really like villains, especially fantasy-type villains or cartoon villains who are allowed to have free reign over trying to take over the world or other big endeavors like that. Big, overblown type villains. And so I thought I would make a list of those who I found to be particularly dangerous and who I love and admire but would not want to meet in a dark alley. If they ever became our overlords, I would be absolutely terrified. For this list, I set up a couple rules for myself. First of all, I limited myself to one baddie from each show so that this didn't get all clogged up with Gargoyles and Powerpuff Girls villains, because that's what would have happened otherwise. I also said had to be original to the show. I do some that are spin-offs from films, but not any villain that comes from the film, like no one from Little Mermaid animated series is on this list, but if they were, it couldn't be Ursula. That's the rule. Evil Manta could be. He's not. I'm sorry. I love Tim Curry. I don't find him all that convincing in that performance. Still entertaining. The Evil Manta is not the point. And those are the rules, and let's get started. For number 10, I'm going to take you through a little hypothetical scenario. Let's say you discovered that a menace to humanity who wanted to destroy us all lived among us, walked among us through the streets, went to our school and places of work. And the worst part is, you're the only one that knows, because no one else will actually accept the fact that there is a monster who wants to destroy us all in our midst. That gives you a nice setup for my number 10, Zim from Invader Zim. His story is that he is an alien warlord conqueror. Well, maybe not a warlord. That might be giving him too much credit. Let's just say that he comes from a race of aliens that is preoccupied with destroying planets, and he is assigned to Earth just to get him out of the way because he is too destructive for them. That should be your perspective. The really terrifying, if anything can be terrifying about this cute little guy, I mean, admit it, he's my number 10 and not one for a reason. The one thing that is terrifying is that everyone on Earth automatically believes he is a human in his paper-thin disguise because we want him to be human. We don't want there to be an alien among us who wants to destroy our planet. And destroying our planet is exactly what he wants to do, as obvious in the title sequence, which shows him daydreaming about the day he finally takes over Earth. He's particularly threatening in the episode Dark Harvest, which anyone who's seen the show will remember as the organ-stealing episode, where he shows that he is perfectly capable of transplanting people's organs out of their bodies and into his own so that he can appear more human. Now, the reason that he is so low, besides being adorable, is also that he is an idiot. This is addressed in the show. Pretty much the only sane characters who, and by sane characters I mean Gaz, Dib is not sane. She does not fear him even though she knows what he is because she knows he's too stupid to accomplish anything. And that's why I rate some of my next choices a little higher, but still pretty scary. Ah, succubi. Who isn't afraid of succubi? You know, creatures that are so deliciously beautiful that they lure you in with your lust for them, and then they utterly destroy you. And I'm not just talking about guys who troll for one-night stands at bars, no. I'm talking about monsters, because again, we are still in the cartoon realm. And our next choice is kind of a siren succubus hybrid. Once she decides she likes you, you like her. Once she gets you into her lair, she won't like you so much anymore, and you won't like what she has in store for you. This is the Queen of the Black Puddle from Courage the Cowardly Dog. It probably doesn't surprise you that a Courage villain got on this list. It probably surprises you that she's so low on the list, but I have my reasons. Just hear me out. Anyway, the reason I find this particular one so amazingly, awesomely threatening is because, as I said, if she wants you to like her, you like her. Her debut episode is all about how she entrances the backwoods farmer Eustace Begg into deserting his wife, who, even though he's a jerk, he's pretty much loyal to, and following her down into her lair, where then she proceeds to try to eat him. Now, of course, you have to have your semi-happy ending. This is one of the few episodes where they didn't let Eustace die and randomly bring him back next episode, but still, the concept was really creative and a really great way to introduce a villain that you could actually find formidable. As opposed to Space Chicken. Yes, Space Chicken was scary, but when you got down to it, it was really just kind of silly. Let's take another hypothetical. Say you have a Disney film villain. They're always pretty formidable, pretty threatening, have a good plan of, plans to crush a lot of people, suck up a lot of power. You know and love them. Let's say somebody came along and kicked one of the Disney villains off his throne, and it's not the hero. In this case, you would have Hecate from Hercules the Animated Series. In her debut episode, she dethrones Hades. I'm not kidding. That should be enough, but if you're still not convinced, she's also the goddess of darkness and night, which in itself is pretty formidable. This is a woman who has ultimate power over the time of day when most people would fear. And she claims power over the realm of death as well. And her two sidekicks, who you can kind of see in this picture here, are flying wolves. A lot, much more threatening than Pain and Panic would have been. And yeah, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way here. She is voiced by Roz from Frasier. I love this woman. I really do. At this point, I'm going to remind you, the premise of the list is threatening. Not awesome, not who is my favorite, but who is threatening. In other words, don't kill me because this guy isn't number one. David Xanatos from Gargoyles. Pretty much everyone who's seen this guy loves him and knows how awesome he is. And one of the things that makes him so powerful is not only that he pretty much owns the world, for money makes the world go round after all, but he is incredibly intelligent. He has a backup plan for his backup plans. Go right now to tvtropes.org and put in the words Xanatos Gambit. They named a trope after him, and the trope is having a plan where you win no matter what the outcome. So basically, if you ever try to thwart his plan, you can't. He had it set up so he will always win. And that is what makes him such a formidable villain, and why I think he's threatening. Now, why he's so low on the list is actually some of the reason why he's just plain awesome, is that he's more complex than just a plain old bad guy. It's not like he's aligned towards evil permanently. He knows what love is, he has people he cares about, and he allies with the heroes on occasion. He is a wonderful, complex character, and that's what makes him awesome. That's really all that matters.